So I was sitting down this morning, just kind of going over my fights or whatever I've had throughout life. My first real incident was I was in elementary school and went to Newton Smith Elementary up on the Cooper Road, and my grandmother, Lucille Cooper, and knowing that I was a Cooper, I kind of, had a chip on my shoulder, pride, about especially living and growing up on the Cooper Road. So, um, like I said, elementary, we're in PE, and they had this big ass field that Coach Russell used to have us run around, for exercise. So, I don't know, I was competitive and I kind of pushed myself. So, I was pretty much the best. And for some reason, this kid, uh, envy and jealous, so he got mad at me or whatever. So Coach Russell saw that we had an issue. So he took us in the PE gym and pulled out some boxing gloves. So we're there and, we got the boxing gloves on, and I wore his ass out. I beat him hands down, no problem. So
Did you mean society as a whole or the whole in society?
oh, about the Governor Edwards visit? Yeah. Society as a whole. Well, America.
The whole in society.
That too, yeah.
There is a big hole in it.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like I said, I went in the gym and my dad and I used to watch Sugar Ray Leonard, and Macho Camacho, and I watched all the boxers, Mayweather and De La Hoya and Sugar Shane Mosley, and you know all these boxers that were in the Olympics. I used to always, admire them, especially with Muhammad Ali and stuff. So I was kind of good. But my only issue was, I boxed like Sugar Ray. I had my hands down because I was just so quick, you know. Um, I really didn't go with the real true basics of boxing. But I had this one situation where uh, I had this kid that he was a few years older than me, but he was small for his size. And he was built, and he and I had gotten into it for some reason or another. And he had just had these straight punches, and he dropped me. We got into a mix and he dropped me. I just couldn't contend with those straight ass blows. So my brother was home from Marines, went through basic training. My brother's like 12 years older than me. So I was like, Bubba, this kid out here, he's messing with me. I want you to come deal with him, come handle him. My brother was like, nah, you go out and you fight him yourself. Man, I was mad at my brother, really. So I go back outside, I'm pissed off. So me and the kid get in the mix again. Boom! He drops me. I'm frustrated, because I just never had nobody that fought like that before. So I run back in the house, sit in the ditch. My brother wouldn't help me. So eventually, we got in the mix again a third time. So I figured him out, whenever he went to throw a punch, I sidestepped that sucker, hit him with like a right hook, dropped it, you know. So everything was good for me at that point, right? So that's really the only fight that I'd say that somebody got the best of me ever. So moving on, I went to AIT in Aberdeen Proving Grounds out in Maryland, We were like 30 minutes from Baltimore. And to get out of PT, I got on the boxing team. You know, it was completely different. You know, I hated running miles, and especially those little morning formation things where you got to run around the base and crap. No, I'm gonna get myself out of that. So I joined the boxing team. So we had different rankings on the team, and I don't know. Whenever I came in, everybody was already established, and they had this one guy that he had went pro at one point. He was a heavyweight, so he was the number one boxer that we had on the team. So whenever I got in there, you know, start doing my little thing. Initially, I'm a bouncer. You know, I'm light on my feet, kind of like Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray. You know, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You know, so my coach was like, "Nah, we want to settle you down. You're heavyweight. You know, so I want you to keep your energy, you know." So he showed me little footsteps, you know, you basically just like shuffle, you know. And the one thing that he kind of taught me was, you know, just like you're going to the opponent's weak side, the left, you know. And he always loved my 1-2 because that right came so fast behind the left, you know. And the left was just to kind of distract you. But when that right came, you know, nobody could contend with it. So, like I said, the day before our boxing match, you know, we're sparring, we're going like half speed, and he put me in the ring with the number one boxer on our team. Right? He's ex-pro. So what happened is, you know, we were kind of practicing sparring, and you know, I started like going into my little combinations. And what he did was, as I threw this punch, he would come over, knock it down, and just like tap me, you know, on my cheek. And with each punch, he started timing me, you know, and he did it perfectly, you know. So it kind of frustrated me. So I pulled back. Coach was like, "All right, Alan, settle down. You know, you see what he's doing, right?" I was like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Okay." And, you know, so I went in and I kind of faked to throw a left, you know, and he was kind of looking for my combination. So whenever he did that, came back with a right. And I moved in lower and came up. Man, I hit him square in the chin, knocked him back on the ropes and this and that. And it was like, once I connected, it wasn't like I even put any power in it, you know. But I caught him so squarely, you know, and once I hit him, I just knew that I don't know, I did wrong. So I went after him like, no, you know, and I'm trying to catch him, you know, and this and that. And he was dazed, man, you know, and this was the day before our bout. So and that's when I realized that people have concussions, you know. Once you get knocked out or dazed, you know, it causes a concussion in the brain and so forth. So whenever I got in the match the next day, I used to have a videotape of it. First round, you know, everybody used to ask me, they were like, "Did you even get punched? Did you even take a hit?" You know, because I'm so good at slipping the punches as they come in and counter. I'm like a Mayweather, you know. My counter attack so quick, you know, boom, and my hands are heavy. For some reason, all my friends used to always tell me we play Batman or, you know, all the different little games, and you know, I catch my friends with a nice punch or whatever, and they were just like, "We quit. You hit too hard," you know. So I don't know my own strength to the full extent. So I'd say my second little amateur match was in a tough man competition. You know, I kind of like trained a little bit, got in shape, got my aerobics ready, and this and that. And really, what I was thinking about doing is going pro. because that boxer that I fought in my AIT, he had asked me to train me. He wanted me to go pro. You know, I'm just like, nah, man. You know, I'm not gonna be a Muhammad Ali, taking all these punches and end up having Alzheimer's or whatever, brain damage. So at that point, I kind of understood the level of damage that a person sustains whenever they are knocked out, so forth. So for the match, in the tough man competition, I had to drive to Mississippi, and we had about I was like everybody, all the boxers were sitting in the stands, and we were waiting for our turns or our matchup and so forth. And I told everybody, it's like, dude, everybody else was like, I'm gonna knock this guy out. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I was like, nah, man. What I'm going for a no mas. That is the pinnacle where the boxer just quits, man. Because I'm not trying to do no brain damage or nothing like that. And it just so happened that I did get this Mexican guy, and we started, our little bout, and my quickness. He just couldn't keep up with my quickness, and at that time I think I was just like right over 200, so I was very quick, because I normally carry like 220, so my quickness was just on point. So I hit him with like, my main approach is to wear down the body first. You tear down the body, you take away the wind, and they can't move and they can't block or react properly. So I was just destroying his body, and the quickness, like I said, I just never took a punch at all. But the sucker tackled me once after doing a flurry. Man, the dude tackled me and took me down on the mat. I'm expecting the referee to kind of like break it up or whatever. And then while I'm down, he's trying to hit me and this and that, and the referee never did anything. So, I'm looking at the referee like, hey, you ain't gonna break this up. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna punish your ass this time. We got back up, and I just like I said, I was just tearing that body up, man. I was just really hitting him with some nice, solid, hard punches. And the fucker grabbed me, he tackled me again. And, he had me up against the ropes. And the fucker was trying to throw me out the ring. So I'm looking at the crowd, he trying to throw. I'm like, man, what's going on, So, I'm a ham. Yeah, I love to show off. So after that, that the round finished, the guy quit. I was like, yes, I got my no mas, dog. I got the pinnacle. The motherfucker just know he's just no competition. So, um, I've had fights after that, and I had this one fight in Destrehan to where this guy came down and he was just a terror of the neighborhood. And he was disrespecting my neighbor's things, like her chair. She had put a mat that she was letting air dry out on the chair, folded over the chair. So he come down. He's not even part of our little crew, So he picks up the mat and puts it on a trash can. So I tell him, I'm like, say, dude, you gotta respect that that's not your property, man. If you don't like it, because I ain't gonna sit down here and tell you more than once, we can handle that. So he's like, oh yeah, all right, come on. So he takes off his necklace and this and that. So I had earrings in both my ears. So I thought to take them out, but then I was just like, nah, it's not even gonna last that long. So the guy came at me, tried to sucker punch me. Definitely there was a height difference, but he was in my weight class. So I sidestepped him and I hit him with an uppercut, man. I hit him so hard. I didn't close my hand because, it was just so fast. And fucking broke my hand, whenever I hit him. But he was knocked out. I knocked him out. One hit a quitter. And having boxed, my hands were registered. So I had to warn people. Otherwise, if I kill somebody while I'm fighting them, I figured I could always be charged with a lethal weapon, So dude scared me, man, because he started going into seizures and shit while he was out. Foam start coming out of his mouth. Man, I had this cup. I went to the faucet. I poured water on him like twice, man. I'm just like, dude, wake up. Come on, dude. You got to pull through this, And eventually he woke up. And actually, I helped him home. I kind of put his arm over my shoulder and grabbed him and carried him down to his house so his sisters and so forth could look out for him. But the dude wasn't finished. And he ended up coming back like twice after that. Like an hour, 2 hours later, where he still was fucked up. But the second time he caught me, I was sitting in like this little lounge chair or whatever outside, the fold out little chairs, nylon chairs. And, I had dreadlocks. So he comes and he gets me while I'm in the chair and starts hitting me. So I just put up my guard because I want to feel how hard he's hitting. Man, the dude's hitting soft, dude. So at one point, I kind of grabbed him and I pushed him so I could get up. And whenever I'm boxing, I'm a thinker, man. So I pushed him up against the door and I just started body attacking. I was just like, hitting that body, hitting them ribs with them hooks, man, just tearing his rib cage up, because then I was going to step back and just, knock his ass out once he got to a certain point. But his sister came, oh, you're going to kill him, you're going to kill him. So I was just like, all right, here, let your sister take you home, dude. But you done pissed me the fuck off now because you hit me while I was in my chair. You bring your ass back, dude. Once you get your shit straight, you bring your ass back. And I walked him home talking shit to him the whole time. So eventually he came back and we squared up in the street. I had my 40 cal SIG. And I was just like, I hope you ain't coming with no nonsense, dog, because I'm ready for that, So he was like, no, let's square up. So we squared up in the street, and he kind of threw a punch at me, and then I went into my little mix, and I was really about to just like really demolish this dude. But his daughter was there, and she jumped in the way and jumped in and like, no, you hurt my dad. The crazy thing though is after that ass whipping, the dude came back, gave me mad props. My brother came around, Bubba, and he was telling my brother how I whipped his ass and shit, And like I said, I'm big brother. I'm not the type of person that'll kick you while you're down. If I got the best of you, I don't let my rage get the best of me. But, I'm very passionate, especially, whenever I'm in confrontation. But like I said, I just, certain things I know that I'm good at and I like doing. As far as boxing, I'm good at boxing, I'm good at jujitsu, I'm good at wrestling, I'm good at martial arts and so forth. So any way you want to bring it, I'm a state champion marksman, expert shooter. So, whatever level you want to take it to, I'm not trying to take nobody's life, no, but I'm not afraid to show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. So those are like my little amateur bouts, and fights I've had. I had this one situation when I was in Germany. This guy, I'm 6'3", so he's about 6'5", and he was built. He was working out and everything, and he had been drinking and shit. He was kind of tipsy, and we had went talking to this group of cats that they were talking about jumping the other friend. He was going through a situation with his wife, and she had this this outside dude, he came to the house with his friends and this and that. So whenever he goes to the house, he sees these guys at his house, and he's in the Air Force, and he just goes off. So the dude that she was messing with, he fucked him up, and then the other dudes jumped in. So he's like telling me how he grabbed the table, and he kind of wore them out. He's from Ohio, so we talked about folk and the vice lords and shit like that, and he and I clicked. Light-skinned brother. So, like I said, we go over to these barracks, or this housing, military housing, and because they were talking about jumping and getting it, after that. So one of our cats was sitting there playing cards with him, and then he comes back and tell us what they were plotting. So we go over there, let's be men about this. Instead of y'all trying to jump my dude, who wants to handle him? Who wants to, take that ass with me? So the guy was just like, I came in and I got myself, it was a countertop, and it was in a corner. So I posted up in the corner. I'm the biggest dude in the bunch, so I'm talking shit, but I'm smiling. I'm trying to not make them feel intimidated and so forth. But this dude comes and tries to fuck with me, right? So in a sense, he's like, what you got to do with it? This and that, so forth. So I'm like, don't worry about that. I'm here though, So in the midst, I think he tried to throw a punch at me, and I seen him, the body movement. Man, I jumped off that counter so fast, hit him with a 1-2, dropped his ass, and he ended up grabbing me around my knees, and shit, I started doing wrestling. I Jake the Snake in this motherfucker, DDT'd him, dropped him on his fucking head. And then we got into another situation where, we was like locked up, and he tried to pick me up, and I felt it. I was slated to have knee surgery. My knee was, had been giving out on me, so I don't know what happened, but it's just like my adrenaline kicked in, and I reversed it, and I picked this motherfucker up over my head and just power drove it, to the ground. His face and everything just started bleeding, and I don't know. Another person's blood on me, I kind of click out. So I was trying to keep from that, and like I said, I won the fight, but the dude kept on going. So I had to tell his friends, I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to kill this dude, but y'all need to grab your friend, because he's clearly outmatched, he's fucked up, and so forth. So the military police got involved in that shit, and they called me in. My boys had already laid out the alibi, because it was self-defense. The dude swung at me first, With him trying to swing at me, I countered so fast that he hit my buddy next to me, and that's what they told the military police. They were all military. I was a civilian, dependent. So, I come in there with my baby, and they ask me questions. They looking at my face, and they're like, damn, you ain't got a scratch on you. But oh boy, he lumped up, all fucked up. Like, dude, what do you know? I was like, no, man, it was just, I ain't trying. I wasn't really wanting to hurt the dude, but, I stopped it actually, I let it not go too far, because the dude wouldn't give up, so, yeah, I ended up getting barred from all military bases in Germany behind that shit and so forth, where they would consider me a threat. They were scared of me, and so forth. But that's it.